the Review What You Know, which is Unit 1. We should have already done this yesterday. If you didn't, you need to go back and rewatch that video. So we are going to work on add and subtract fractions and decimals today. Now, when you're adding and subtracting, they need to have fractions. They need to have the same denominator. Okay, so in this case, we have a 3 and a 5. So those don't match. I have to make them match. So I need to take this number and put it to this number. So I'm going to say 3 times 5, because this is a 5, and 5 times 3. Now, what I do to this, the bottom, I have to do to the top. I'm going to try to make that so you can read it a little better. So that is 3 times 5. So since I have times 5 on the bottom, I have to put times 5 on the top. Okay, since I have times 3 on the bottom, I have to put times 3 on the top. Now I don't have to do anything to the 2, but I have to rewrite the whole thing. So this becomes 2, and then 1 times 5 turns into 5. 3 times 5 turns into 15. 2 and 5/15 is the same as 2 and 1/3. Plus, the 6 stays the same. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. And now that I have the same denominator, I can just add across the top and across the bottom. So the 15 stays the same. I have 5 pieces, 9 pieces. So 5 plus 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 15ths. So that's how many I have, 14 15ths. And 2 plus 6 is 8. So final answer is 8 and 14 15ths. We're going to look at number 8. Again, we do not have the same bottom, but I can figure out an easy one to match. Now what I notice is that I can turn that 4 into 20. I can turn the 10 into 20. So the 4, if I multiply it by 5, will become 20. And if I multiply the 10 by 2, it turns into 20. So I put times 2 on the top and times 2 on the bottom. I put times 5 on the bottom and times 5 on the top. Rewrite the whole thing. The 9 didn't change, but the 10 times 2 turned into 20. The 1 times 2 turned into 10. The 4 did not change. I bring it down. But 4 times 5 turns into 20. And 3 times 5 turns into 15. Okay, now the first thing that I'm noticing is I can't do 2 minus 15. So I have to change some things. I know that that 9 I can borrow from. So it gets a little bit more complicated, okay? So I'm going to change this 9 into 8 and 20 20ths. Do we agree that that is 9? 20 over 20 is a whole, so therefore that's 9. So I've changed that 9 to this. Going to bring down my 2 over 20, and I'm going to realize if I put those together, because that's 9 and 2 20ths, so this is 9 and 2 20ths, but if I add 20 plus 2, that changes into 8 and 22 20ths, okay? I don't need to do anything to this one, so I'm just going to bring it over. Okay, make it so that you can see it. But now I can actually subtract. So 8 minus 4 is 4. 22 minus 15 is 7. That is my final answer. Fractions are usually the ones that students get stuck on, so I want to make sure you see it. I'll put it back. Pause if you need to, but I'm going to move on. We're going to add our decimals. In order to add decimals, you have to line up your places. So with this one, I'm going to put that decimal there, that decimal there. 1, 9, 8, 6, 7, 0, 9, 1. Now what you're going to notice is I don't have anything here, so I add a 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 6 plus 9 is 15. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. Carry the 1. So 26. And the decimal stays right here. It's kind of hard to read, but I'm going to rewrite the final answer. 26.951. Put a square around it so that I know what the final answer is. Okay, number 10. All right, now I don't see a decimal on this one, but I know that there's one right there. So I still have to line it up. 57.0 minus 10 point, see my decimals are lined up, 6, 2. But I'm missing one there, so I'm filling that in. 0 minus 2 is not possible, so I've got to start doing my borrowing, regrouping, whatever you want to call it based on what your teacher has said. But this is the way that I know it works for me. You use what method works for you. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. My decimal goes right there where the other decimals go. 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 minus 1 is 4. Final answer is right there.